We all need good strategies that lead to positive, productive relationships with the people in our lives.
And since we cannot be with your kids in our clubs right now,
we developed this video series to share our favorite youth development tips and tricks with you.
In this special episode of Youth Development Tips and Tricks, we want to introduce to you Scott Hickok, the camp director from Camp Southern Ground, and a partner with Boys and Girls Club of Metro Atlanta. Camp Southern Ground is an inclusive camp in Fayetteville, Georgia, and they serve a lot of our Metro Atlanta youth at their summer camp. We're grateful to have Scott and his colleagues help us out as we talk about proactive and reactive strategies for managing youth behavior at home.
As Destiny said, I'm the camp director at Camp Southern Ground just south of Atlanta. We're an inclusive camp that specializes in serving kids who are neurodiverse or developing differently. Whether you have a neurodiverse or typically developing child, this video will walk you through inclusive practices that will help your child regulate emotions and hopefully prevent conflicts, meltdowns, and make your home a little bit more of a peaceful place. Proactive strategy 1, structure and routine. For any child, but especially those with differences, this is a really challenging time. The current uncertainty can cause stress and anxiety, and that can lead to unwanted behaviors. In many of our kids, we'll see what we call regression, which is when you see behaviors that you may not have seen for months or even years. So how can we prevent regression? It starts with schedule and routine. So here are 4 simple steps to try. Number 1, set a daily schedule, and if you can, get your child involved in making it. Number 2, have a checklist that you follow for morning and nighttime routines. Number 3, be consistent. Your consistency will help ease your child's anxiety. And number 4, if possible, make the schedule and checklist something they can see, hold, and touch. The most important thing is that you are consistent about what you do. If these 4 practices haven't been a part of your daily lives over the last couple weeks, there may be some resistance as you introduce them. Take some small steps, like just starting with a nighttime checklist, and work your way towards all 4 strategies. Proactive strategy 2, transitions. Whether your child is neurodiverse or typically developing, you've likely experienced this situation. You give your child the time to do something they enjoy, maybe some screen time or what we would call preferred activity, but when it's time to move on to something else, like schoolwork, you get a fight, a tantrum, or a full-on meltdown. Kids often communicate through their behavior when they're overwhelmed or dysregulated, and who of us isn't overwhelmed or dysregulated to some extent right now? In the case of transitions, or any time we move from one thing to another, kids can get overwhelmed if they don't know that change is coming. Here are 4 simple steps that you can use to make transitions easier for you and your child. Step 1, 15 minutes before a transition, let them know what's going to happen. For example, hey, 15 more minutes of screen time, and then we're going to transition to your schoolwork. Step 2, if you can use something visual so your child can see the progress and upcoming change, you can use a large clock or an oven timer or even a phone or a computer with a simple countdown app. Step 3, every 5 minutes give them an update. In 10 minutes, in 5 minutes. At camp, we use a large visual timer, and we like to count down the last few seconds New Year's Eve style. A countdown is a great way to get your kids in a prepared state of mind so they're ready to move on to something new. As always, the key here is consistency. The more you do it, the more it will help. Countdowns do not mean that every child will be excited about stopping the thing they love doing to move on to something less exciting, like schoolwork. But giving them the heads up ensures that they're not surprised by the transition, and that will ease the temptation to lose control of their behavior. Reactive strategies, how to help during tantrums or meltdowns. Everybody has bad days and bad moments. For our kids, sometimes that bad day or bad moment can become so overwhelming that they can no longer use their words to express the huge emotions that they're feeling. Instead, they express themselves through behaviors. That is what's often called a meltdown or a tantrum. Every child will experience meltdowns at some point, although some more than others, especially kids who are neurodiverse. Every child is different, but there are some basic steps you can follow to de-escalate this situation. Start by calming yourself. Take a moment and take a slow breath. Your words, your tone, your body language can show your child what calm looks like. Next, reassure them. Focus on getting them calm. They want to communicate. Ask them to show you a calm body and use calm words so that you can understand how to help them. Remember, their tantrum is their effort to communicate. That's how they feel equipped in that moment to tell you what they're feeling. Coach them through a better way. And be patient. They may just need some time to allow their bodies to calm down. It's okay to give them a few minutes. You may need those minutes too. And as they start to calm down, do slow breathing techniques with them. You may want to provide them with sensory or fidget toys or offer them a quiet place for a short break. And lastly, encourage them and praise them for being calm. This might sound like, I see you working to be calm and I'm proud of you. When you're both ready, slowly redirect them back to their schedule. While you want to encourage them for calming down, don't give them a treat or a reward or a preferred activity unless it was already scheduled. Otherwise, you're encouraging the behaviors you just coached them out of. You may be very happy that they've calmed down, but you want to make sure you don't accidentally teach them that they get fun things when they have negative behaviors. Camp Southern Ground recently shared a blog post that goes more in depth with some of the techniques that might be helpful. We will give you the website at the end of this video. The most important thing is that you keep your child safe, let them know that they're loved, and teach them how to help themselves if they do start to get overwhelmed.
Thanks, Scott, for the important insight. Club families, be encouraged. The work you do with your children during this time matters. Please reach out and let us know how we can help. We're in this with you.